Hello everyone and welcome to Blaugrana Everything and welcome back to the channel and a match review as we look at how FC Barcelona suffered defeat in the final of the Super Copa. In what was once again a 5-goal thriller between the two teams, Barcelona found themselves at the wrong end of the result this time, losing 3-2 after extra time to Athletic Bilbao. So, in this video, I'll quickly look at how the teams lined up, then we'll talk about Barcelona's performance in the night and we'll discuss negatives and positives from the game, as well as do something different from picking a man of the match. Just wait, you see. Quick reminder to hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video so you can stay up to date with all the coverage of all things Barcelona on this channel. Let's go ahead and look at how the two teams set up. Bilbao set up with new manager Marcelinho's favorite 4-4-2 formation with the following players: Unai Simon in goals, Balenciaga, Inigo Martinez, Yere and Copa at the back, DeMarcos, Vencedor, Dani Garcia and Muniain across midfield with Raul Garcia and Iñaki Williams up front. Barcelona set up with a 4-3-3 with Ter Stegen, Longley, Araujo, Jordi Alba, Dest, Busquets, De Jong, Pedri, Dembele, Messi, and Griezmann. Let's now briefly look at how Barcelona performed in this game. The match started off with Bilbao pressing Barcelona high, committing a ton of fouls and looking to force errors whilst really enjoying a fair bit of possession in the opening 22 minutes of the game as Barca struggled to get into any sort of meaningful rhythm. All the early signs were pointing to it being a long night ahead for La Blaugrana, and it wasn't until the final 5 minutes of the half that we saw the game start to spring to life. Barcelona opened the scoring after some wonderful build-up play involving Dembele, Messi, Alba, and Griezmann, the former Atleti man finding the back of the net after Messi had his shot wonderfully blocked by the Bilbao defenders. 1-0 Barca. Unfortunately, the lead was not long-lived as Bilbao scored their equalizers straight from kickoff. Barca's defense went to sleep and DeMarcos snuck in behind Clement Longley to score past Ter Stegen. The second half then went back and forth and neither team could really establish a foothold on the game or create any clear-cut chances of note. At least not until the 77th minute when Antoine Griezmann grabbed his second of the night to put Barcelona back in front and in a really great position with only 12 minutes left on the clock. Barcelona, of course, did have some other chances to score a third goal. In particular, there was one counter-attack where Dembele carried the ball wonderfully before backhilling it into Griezmann, who then fed Messi, who then looked to pass into De Jong, but there was just this last-ditch challenge that was made and De Jong couldn't really sort out his feet and the chance went begging. Well, ultimately, Barcelona had only one job to do in those remaining 12 minutes, and for 11 of those 12 minutes, they were able to do it, not conceding a silly goal. But, well, that could only go on for so long. When Busquets and Longley, between the two of them, had a moment of panic that led to Bilbao gaining an unnecessary free kick in a dangerous area. The error was then further compounded by Alba's shocking defending as he ducked Muniain's cross and allowed it to run through to Villalibre to grab an equalizer that meant extra time. Into extra time, and with only 3 minutes of extra time played, Bilbao struck the winner through Iñaki Williams, a proper golazo that gave Ter Stegen absolutely no chance. And in fact, it must be said, Ter Stegen had no chance with any of the goals that he conceded here tonight because he was let down by poor defending for the first two, and well, like I said, the third one was just an absolute golazo. Barca then struggled to get a hold of the game as they were hamstrung by the poor substitutions that were made by Koeman, as well as the fatigue from their exertions against Sociedad. Messi was then later sent off for what was deemed to be violent conduct in the 120th minute, and that was all she wrote really for Barcelona as Bilbao emerged 2021 Super Copa champions. Let's now get into my negatives and positives. For my negatives, I'm not going to dwell much on these because I don't really have the energy. First negative, Jordi Alba. Second negative, Clement Longley. I'm tired of watching these two sabotage all the good defensive work everyone else like Araujo, Busquets and Mingueza do. Someone has to make it stop, like play one or the other, but never both of them. And it's probably maybe going to sound harsh coming at Jordi Alba, seeing as he created both of our goals, more or less. But I've said for a long time here how Jordi Alba's defensive deficiencies are really our Achilles heel, and having Langley next to him, who looks about as assured as a puppy learning how to run, it's never really good. Third negative, yes, I'm still going with the negatives, defending set pieces. At what point will Coman see that he needs to put in more work on defending set pieces in the training ground? We can't just rely on Ronald Araujo clearing every ball into the box when it's a corner or when it's a free kick. Seriously, we need systems. We need ways to defend. Fourth negative, Coman's substitutes. Seriously, in which realm of existence was it the right move to sub off your only winger in Dembele, and also to not take off your biggest defensive liability in Longley much earlier than you did? Really, like, Ronald, come on. Bruh. Fifth negative was, of course, the referees. Honestly, it's no wonder Dembele said some very mean things to the officials in our last game against Sociedad. It felt like Bilbao were allowed to get away with persistent fouling. They committed 24 fouls and only saw 4 bookings. Like, honestly, I don't understand how Muniain stayed on a not card for so long. Okay? It's no wonder Messi went on Conor McGregor and got himself his own bit of justice, which of course rightfully got him sent off. Anyway, I'll now move on to positives, of which there were 2. First positive was Antoine Griezmann. This was quite possibly his best display, barring the game against Granada. Scored what should have been the winner if not for his boneheaded defenders at the back, and always just looked like making things happen whenever he was on the ball. Second positive was De Jong and Ronald Araujo. Probably the only other 2 players who can say proudly that they did not deserve to be on the losing side in this game. Both were solid and gave every last bit of what they had in the tank, and I mean for majority of this match, Ronald Araujo really had Iñaki Williams, like, in his pocket. It's just that one time when, slipped away from him, let Griezmann get in between them, and well, fired a golazo into the top corner. Anyway, this is usually where I'd give you my man of the match. But like I said earlier, this time around, it's going to be something different. Because you see, my man of the match was going to be Antoine Griezmann. Because, well, quite honestly, he was the best player on the pitch, regardless of the result. But due to the fact that Bilbao actually won a trophy here, because of that result, I felt that awarding the man of the match to a Barcelona player would be a bit of a disservice to their efforts. In that regard, I decided to go with a rather detestable task of picking the flop of the match. Yeah, I know, right? Super original, super clever. The inaugural flop of the match award goes to none other than Clement Longley. Boy, did he stink it up tonight. Like I said earlier, let's limit him to only starting when Alba isn't on the pitch or when it's not a high stakes game. And, well, in that regard, I should probably say here that honorable mentions go to Jordi Alba. I mean, yes, he created both of our chances, but, I mean, he was also highly at fault for both of the goals that we conceded here tonight in regular time, I should say. The third goal, he's got nothing on him. Like, it's not his fault. That was just Iñaki Williams' brilliance. Anyway, that does it for my match review. Ladies and gentlemen, what were your thoughts on the match? Feel free to leave them in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day and Forza Barca.